Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here's another deck profile for you guys today. This time it's on Cyber Dragons. So Cyber Dragons is a deck I've been wanting to go back to for a while, simply because it's actually a lot of fun to play. And also it's really good at OTKing the opponent, especially if you're going second. And I figured I decided to share what I got this time around simply because I wanted to adjust this deck as much as I could just to deal with the current meta. And I'm pretty happy with some of the changes. There's actually quite a lot of them too, so but as we progress, it'll start to make sense on why I built my deck the way I did. So let's go and get started. All right, so main deck's still 40 cards, starting off with 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, literally the heart and soul of the entire deck. Definitely got to run this at 3. 3 Cyber Dragon Core. Now this card is one of the best starters. It is a mandatory effect on normal summon, so when this card is normal summon, you can search out any cyber spell or trap from your deck and add it to your hand. Now, of course, it is pretty risky considering that your opponent can easily hit you with a Veiler or an Impermanence, but honestly, as long as you have the right pieces in hand anyway, it's not a problem. The whole point of this card is also just to cancel out, or rather not cancel out, but more like bait out certain negations. But if it does go through, great, you'll be all set for the duration of the turn. But anyway, also has a graveyard effect where if you have no monsters and your opponent controls at least one or more, you can banish this card from your hand, or from your graveyard, I'm sorry, then special summon a Cyber Dragon directly from your deck. So yeah, only if your opponent controls a monster and you don't. But yeah, pretty good overall. Next, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Hearse. Now, Hearse is interesting considering that it can make itself a level 5 if it's special summoned, but the most important effect is that if it hits the graveyard, you can search one other Cyber Dragon from your deck and add it to your hand. And this can easily be chain blocked with a card like Galaxy Soldier. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, and I should have actually read the card a little bit better. So I made a mistake thinking that this card could search out any other Cyber Dragon monster. No, it can only search out the original Cyber Dragon. But overall, that's still pretty good considering that you do want to get Cyber Dragon into your hand as quickly as possible. So yeah, Cyber Dragon Hearse, an amazing card. Now, it does lock you into machine type monsters if you resolve its effects, so just bear that in mind. And next up, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nashter. Also, like Cyber Dragon Hearse, this can also lock you into machine monsters if you resolve its effect. But one cool thing about this card is that you can discard you can discard one other monster, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, you can normal or special summon this card, you can target one machine monster with 2100 attack or defense from your graveyard. So this basically acts as an extender and a monster reborn all in one package, just to bring back your Cyber Dragons. Next, 2 Galaxy Soldiers. You definitely don't want to run this at 3. I'm just gonna say that right now because this card can be pretty bricky if you don't have another light monster to discard, which that's the most unfortunate part about this card. You have to discard a light monster. If it could discard any other monster, this card would have been a lot better, but you generally discard a light monster, special summon this card, in which case you're most likely going to want to discard a Cyber Dragon Hearse for this effect, and you can search out another copy of itself. That part is a hard once per turn, but the ability for it to special summon itself is not. So this gives you instant access to Cyber Dragon Nova and then go into an infinity that way. And of course, just to round up our machine monsters, 1 copy of Jizikiru. It is searchable in this deck, funny enough, and it's just a good way to deal with threats. So like just Kaiju monster, and then you can steal it again anyway for Cyber Dragon Infinity's effect, and you're all set to go. All right, so that pretty much rounds up those. Moving on to hand traps. For my hand traps, I'm running 3 copies of Ash Blossom, still one of the best hand traps in the format. I decided to go with 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird in the main. I was considering Ogre, but I couldn't decide between the 2. Now, I am citing out Ogre just as a heads up now, but I feel like Droll is still just as good in my opinion, simply because it's just really good at ending turns. Because we're in a format where a lot of decks rely on surging so much, and Droll and Lockbird is one of those cards that just basically disables that. So yeah, I would definitely think that Droll and Lockbird is a little bit better than Ogre, but it's really debatable. So honestly, it's really up to you guys on what you guys want to play. All right, moving on to spells. Running 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. Basically a Rhoda for the deck because it searches out Cyber Dragon. 3 Machine Duplication. I mean, it is pretty broken. It's not once per turn, and considering that you have like 3 whole targets for this, yeah, Machine Duplication is definitely a must-have. For some 1-ups, 1 Overload Fusion. You know, pretty broken. This is how you get to your Chimera Tech, not Mega Fleet, Rampage Dragon, yeah. Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. 1 Cyber Load Fusion, just to recycle your fusion materials, just to get yourself a big boss monster. I am still running Power Bond, but I'm no longer going to be running the Cyber Dark package, simply because I felt like it was a waste of a normal summon. And honestly, Power Bond by itself, you know, top decking it can actually come up. So yeah, Power Bond's pretty nice. One Cyber Repair Plant. You have to have a Cyber Dragon already engraved to activate this, but this is basically how you search out your kaijus, or mainly the one kaiju, I should say. One Cyber Rev System, another good extender piece. 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet, just because, you know, you are going second, and it's just a good way just to deal with certain threats, like having their negates, or having their effects negated, like a DPE or even a Dragoon. And considering that Despia Albaz is going to be out next week, yeah, I definitely just want to be prepared. One Called By. Only one Lightning Storm because I only own the one, but I am running a Harpy's Feather Duster just to kind of like fill in the blanks on the other one. So yeah, they're just really good blowout cards, especially considering that Eldritch is one of the best decks right now. Yeah, I just want to like blow up the back row as quickly as possible. It's also pretty good against the Flow and Reese matchup too. Lightning Storm, primarily because, you know, they set up like their one Floodgate monster plus the barrier statue. You can just Lightning Storm them and you're pretty much good to go. And just to go and get them out of there, I am running 3 copies of Impermanence as another hand trip. And of course, 1 Cybernetic Overflow is just more spot removal. And yeah. And if you already noticed, I'm not running a Pot of Prosperity anymore, simply because the extra deck is kind of tight right now. And honestly, I don't really want to be getting rid of my extra deck whatsoever. And yeah, I just don't think, and plus considering that you also want to OTK your opponent as quickly as possible, that's the kind of like the theory behind it right now. So honestly, I don't think you need Pot of Prosperity anymore. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to my extra deck, starting off with Cyber Dragon Seeger. Everyone already knows what this does. Also counts as a Cyber Dragon, and you can just make this off of 2 machines plus 1 Cyber Dragon. So yeah, it's a good power boost. So definitely nothing to scoff at. 1 Verite Anaconda. You know, just get into Cyberload Fusion or Cyberload Fusion. 1 Lina, the Light Charmer Illustrious. So still a great card to run in this extra deck, simply because like it acts as good follow-up. And considering there are actually a good number of light decks, again, mainly Eldritch, if you steal that Eldritch, yeah, your opponent's going to have a rough time getting that back. But Lina is also good because if it's destroyed, you can search out one of your weaker Cyber Dragon monsters, like a Core or Hearse, even an Aster, and you can just get full combo that way. 1 Almirage, a card that came to my attention, 1 Relinquish Anima, considering that, yeah, you do have a couple of level 1 monsters to use. You can just, you know, go into an Anima, steal a monster, and then just go, and then just, yeah, link off for something else. So it's pretty nice. For my fusions, I am running the Chimera Tech package, 1 Mega Fleet, which is good against the Salamangreats. 1 Fortress Dragon for any other machine-based deck. 1 Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, which is one of the best OTK pieces. And of course, sometimes Cyber Twin Dragon comes out, as well as Cyber End Dragon, considering that also does piercing damage. And if you can manage to pull off Power Bond into Cyber End Dragon, yeah, you're looking for an amazing combo right there. For my Xyz package, double Nova and double Infinity. I got the 2 different artworks just because, you know, they're pretty awesome. And last but not least, 1 copy of Zeus. Since, oh, great thing about Zeus is that it is a machine monster, so yeah, it really comes up quite a lot, believe it or not. But yeah, that pretty much rounds up the extra deck. So 5 links, 5 fusions, 5 Xyz. For the side deck, running 3 Token Collector, which honestly needs no explanation. Obviously for Sword Souls. 3 Ghost Ogre, because again, I have some theories that Ogre's, well, for sure, Ogre is going to be like really good this format. But also it's just good for spot removal too. So it depends on the matchup whether I decide to swap out like my hand trap lineup, depending on what I need to deal with, you know. 3 Cosmic Cyclones, simply because as much as I like Twin Twisters, I think Cosmic is a little bit better, especially against Eldritch once again, considering that their trap cards recycle themselves. Plus, they can easily get protected through King of the Heavenly Prison or Sky Prison, however way you want to call it. And yeah, any control-based deck with trap cards, yeah, Cosmic Cyclone is probably going to be the better pick. I'm also running Royal Decree just to mess with them even more. So like any trap-based deck, yeah, Royal Decree is just really funny. Another good equalizer is going to be 2 copies of Evenly Matched. And this just for any like deck that has like a huge board and or just like a lot of back row. It's a good way just to like clear them out and then just basically, you know, relieve yourself from so much pressure, you know. And of course, 1 copy of Red Reboot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys again next time.